village. Rosemary suffered a broken kneecap last year and is recuperating from the injury. Al Hassim lives in the Bronx with his wife and 11-year-old daughter and works the 4 p.m. to midnight shift for the telephone company in Manhattan. In his off hours, Al likes to play guitar and write songs. Lisa Salviano of Lake Hiawatha, New Jersey is 24, married, and pregnant with her first child. She works as a secretary in Morristown, New Jersey. These three ordinary individuals, unrelated to one another, share one extraordinary experience. With the guidance of a psychiatrist, Dr. Rima Lebo, they have been able to relive deeply buried memories that will astonish you. Under hypnosis, the subjects are put into a relaxed state in which they can recall these disturbing memories. And once regressed, they relive the experience in real time, often very emotionally, moment by moment. They re-experience what they went through the first time, though it may have taken place months or even years earlier. Now, please watch as we replay portions of their hypnosis session now.
I could see the lights in the city, and there was this light coming over my head. Very bright, very intense light, very sharp, heavy. It was coming straight down. Kept looking to see what was on the roof. I'm trying to see what it is. I can't see what it is.
What's preventing you from seeing it?
Because it's so bright, I can't look through the brightness to see what it is.
I was woken up. I was sleeping. And I woke up.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody outside my window.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted me to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how I would get out there because the window was there.
Mm-hmm.
But when I thought that, all of a sudden I started to move up and out. And I went through the window. And I thought that was so neat.
Can you feel your feet on the floor and walking in a regular way?
No.
Oh.
It doesn't seem like I walk because it seems like I don't see anything like when you walk, you can see like things going up and down when you walk. This is smooth.
When you get to the end of this walk, where are you?
Some kind of control room or something.
Mm-hmm. What makes it look like some kind of control room?
Because of this, it's like a big console in there.
I think there was a table in the room.
Table in the room. Like an eating table?
Mm-mm.
Oh, what kind of table?
Like a doctor's office. Like they make me lie on it.
Lie down on the table. You're lying on your tummy?
At my back.
On your back. When you're lying there, are you alone?
No, they're all over.
They're all over. Does anybody touch you?
I think they do, yeah.
Where do they touch you?
I think like my arms and legs.
Are you alone?
No, they're all over.
How many of them are there around the table?
At least 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm. And are they all doing something, or are they all watching?
No, they're watching too.
Uh-huh. How many of them are actually doing something?
1.
They're so ugly.
What makes them so ugly?
They look mean.
What makes them look mean?
They don't smile.
They don't smile.
God, he's ugly. That is an ugly thing. Very ugly. His head looks so pathetic. His heads, they just don't look right. Their heads don't look right. They look distorted and very sickly. Mm-hmm. It's, the skull looks pointed in the front and larger in the back.
He looks like a big insect.
What makes him look like a big insect?
The shape of his head.
Tell me about the shape of his head.
Almost like a football.
Their eyes are very black, and slanted, and sort of wrinkled around the edges, around the eyes, are sort of like lizard eyes in a way.
Big black eyes.
Big black eyes. Do they have pupils?
Whole eyes black.
What color eyes does he have?
They look like they're black.
With us now is the noted psychiatrist, Dr. Rima Lebeau, and the best-selling author and researcher, Bud Hopkins. Dr. Lebeau. Bud is the author of 2 books, Intruders and Missing Time, a documented study of abductions. Thank you both for coming to Washington to see us. Dr. Lebeau, you've done studies of UFO abductees who have been hypnotically regressed. Can you tell us about it?
Psychiatrists are trained to recognize emotional trauma and to treat it, not to evaluate whether aliens exist. Many of these patients are sensitive, sane people who have in common only the belief that they've been abducted, and they're frightened by what happened to them. They don't want fame, money, or publicity, only relief from hidden, painful memories. Now, skeptics question the use of hypnosis. However, careful examination of the material shows its usefulness in these traumatic situations. They also say that abduction reports are the products of overly rich fantasy lives. If that were the case, the reports should be as diverse as people's dreams. Instead, we find striking similarities in accounts from all kinds of people, from all walks of life. Post-traumatic stress disorder does not occur unless there has been external trauma, like that some Vietnam vets and assault victims or rape victims experience. But many abductees show the serious and disabling effects of helplessness and violation. With proper treatment, these symptoms can be relieved.
But what makes reports of abduction believable?
Essentially the commonalities in these accounts, a cluster of similar recollections in cases that I've had from all over the world, all the continents of the world, and I've studied hundreds of cases. People notice a period of missing time which they cannot explain. There's a lot of fear and terror, sometimes about a remembered place. There are strange lights that they describe in a similar way. The descriptions of the craft's interior, the craft's occupants are described in extraordinarily similar ways. They also describe the medical procedures that occur in very, very much the same way. And the most interesting thing, and the sad thing of all perhaps, is that these abductors are not interested in communicating with our minds, but they're interested in the physical state of our bodies.
Thank you, Bud Hopkins and Dr. Rima Lebeau. One of the most intriguing